good evening, good evening to you, family. Welcome to Alone with Firearms Training. I am your host, Juan J. Johnson, on this December 3rd, 2023. Looking forward to a very explosive, very educational, a very good broadcast on today. If you don't have your libations, get your libations right now. We got a special treat for you tonight, or whatever time you view this broadcast. Got a very special treat. We have no other than my man, my friend, my buddy, partner in the Lord, uh, Dr. Randy Short will be with us on today. And we will be talking about pro-choice and traitors to the culture. Again, I need you guys to share this video. I need you to subscribe to the channel, share and subscribe to the channel. Okay. I need you to like it or unlike it. Again, we're going to be talking about pro choice. We're going to be talking about guns. We're going to talk about a whole lot on today. So, and I trust me, this is going to be this is going to be a very good broadcast. This is Dr. Randy Short, Unfiltered. This is an unfiltered broadcast. So you are liable to hear anything. Again, the views expressed on this broadcast are those for Dr. Short and many of those who follow him and those who believe in just a straight up, honest, straightforward brother who does not sugarcoat. He is what I consider the modern day John the Baptist. Jesus was a little more filtered. John was raw. John said, "The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Repent." He was the forerunner of Christ. So when I see Dr. Short and I hear him, I know he's a forerunner. He's, like I said, no chaser, no ice, straight up. So again, I need you to share this video, invite your friends and family and some frenemies. And I know it's a Sunday, and right now, I know y'all are deep in this entertainment football season. I know some games are on and people are just watching it. They can't get away from the entertainment. For those who know that entertainment it's a distraction. Frederick Douglass said that when you stay entertained all the time, when you stay in a holiday mode, it quenches the insurrection spirit. And many of us right now, we don't have no fight in us because we're always, as Russell Crowe said in The Gladiator, are you not entertained? We stay on a steady diet of entertainment. But on today, I am looking forward to dealing with this whole gun piece like never before. We're going to call out, name some traitors within the culture. Again, I told you before, and I've been trying to prep y'all. There's some things that I want to say, but it may not come out like I want to say it. So you bring on other people who can express the same thoughts in a different manner. Again, you know that this is a gun channel. We talk about guns. We talk about God. And I'm a firm believer that you don't have gun without God. So I need you to go to lwftraining.com. That's lwftraining.com. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Make sure my voice, my volume is right. Again, a lot of times when I'm talking about guns, they mess with my voice, my volume. It goes in and out, in and out. Somebody give me a thumbs up or give me a heart or something in the chat, the comment section, to let me know you can hear me loud and clear, because we don't want nothing. We don't want no wavering. We don't want nothing that's going to keep us from hearing what needs to be said on tonight. Go to lwftraining.com for your firearms training. If you want your concealed carry, your wear and carry, your HQLs up until December the 11th, because on the 12th, you will be able to purchase your gun without an HQL, says the state of Maryland. Okay, the laws will be changed. All right. If you want renewed HQLs or wear and carry, go to lwftraining.com. If you want somebody to go to the range with you just to help you to learn how to shoot, again, go to lwftraining.com. If you have guns in your possession, you no longer want them no more. Contact us. We will provide the information needed to transfer thank you, Brother Devin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will provide the paperwork needed to transfer your guns from your house to the company for educational purposes. Okay, that's what we want to do. Again, a lot of people don't want their guns. They inherit guns. They didn't want them. So again, I don't believe in gun buybacks. They're not working. I don't believe in disarming the citizens. Again, let me put up here in bold words, what the Second Amendment is. The Second Amendment states that as American citizens, you have the individual right to arm yourselves. The amendment also establishes that the government cannot infringe on that right. But let me give you the original writing of the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We're talking about guns tonight, family. We're talking about guns. We're talking about the responsibility of gun owners. We're talking about why it's important for you as a citizen to have guns. Again, when you hear that word militia, militia only means citizen, a well-regulated citizen. Not nobody in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, the National Guard. We're talking about just straight citizens being necessary to the security of the free state. Why is that important, family? Because the First Amendment, people don't realize this, the First Amendment guarantees us the right to religion, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of petition, freedom of assembly, okay? Freedom of the press, okay? And freedom to file your grievances, okay? The Second Amendment protects the First Amendment. Say this again. The Second Amendment protects the First Amendment. Say it again. The Second Amendment protects the First Amendment. The only reason why I'm having this conversation right now because freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, okay, freedom of assembly. I need you to embrace your rights as a citizen. And we're going to have a discussion on today again. In layman's terms, the Second Amendment states that as an American citizen, you, my friend, have the right, the individual right to arm yourself. Family, I want you to know that the Second Amendment is not a suggestion. The Second Amendment is the right of the people, and I need you to embrace it like never before. I need you to embrace it because right now, crime is up everywhere. Just in DC alone, there's been 900 something armed carjackings. They're averaging 2.5 carjackings a day. Just in DC. We didn't talk about the stats from Maryland. They're next door neighbors. We're talking about burglaries are up. Robberies are up. Okay? And then we got preachers out here disarming the citizens with these fake amnesty gun buyback programs, giving you a certificate in exchange for your gun. When Jesus said, let's deal with what Jesus said, because I am a follower of the revolutionary Jesus the Christ. Okay, I'm that type of guy who who takes these words literally. What words? I'm glad you asked me. He said in Luke 22:25, He said unto them, when I sent you out with no money bag or knapsack or sandals, did you lack anything? They said nothing. When he was with them, he took care of all their needs. Hell, he could have called down some help if he wanted to. But in Luke 22 and 36, he says, but now let the one who has a money bag take it. Take your money with you and be wise. And likewise your knapsack. And let the one who has no sword sell his cloak upon your coat and buy one. We got preachers out here going against the very commands of Jesus. This wasn't a suggestion, family. Jesus commanded his disciples to get a sword. But watch this. I'm not even finished. Because in Luke 22:37, it says, it is written, and he was numbered with the transgressors. Tell you that this must be fulfilled. What is a transgressor? Somebody who has broken the law. He didn't break no law, but the definition of transgressor is one who has broke the law. But watch this. Let me add this. I'm gonna bring my guests up after the scripture. Then the disciples said, see, Lord, here are two swords. He said, that's enough. He replied, you got enough. So even when he was leaving off the scene, before he left off the scene, he wanted to make sure that the disciples had at least two swords. And when he sent them out, he sent them in twos, family. He sent them in twos. Every disciple had a sword. And so did his partner. See, they don't talk about that in church. But they want to have gun buyback. I don't know what happened to Randy Short. He disappeared. I don't know. They want to have gun buybacks, or what they call them, gun amnesty programs. Family, we've been dealing with prevention and intervention and enforcement when it comes down to our neighborhood. We now need to educate. And this is what I'm doing, educating you on becoming responsible gun owners and gun users. Again, Brother Short, wherever you are, you disappeared. I want to bring you up. We probably had a phone call. But family, this is not the time for you to be turning in your guns. And this is not the time for you to be wondering if you should be a responsible gun owner and gun user. This is not the time for that, family. It's not the time. We have an explosion of criminals. And I would dare say an army coming through our borders. I am not seeing women and children. I'm seeing men, soldiers, dressed as quote unquote asylum seekers. Okay? No, these are an army of men, males, waiting for orders to strike. They got to be. It's amazing because they're sending these asylum seekers or illegals to the major cities, Chicago, New York, DC, California. You can almost tell you can almost sense where the planned plots, riots are going to take place. DC, New York, Chicago, and California. So with that said, I've said enough. Let me introduce to some, present to others, none other than my friend, comrade in this space, Dr. Randy Short. You are live. You are up. What's up, Dr. Short? How you doing, sir?
Oh, I feel like I'm a white man in Africa. Everything belongs to me, even though I don't belong there. You can't have better luck than a white man in Africa. That's real talk. I want to say thank you to all the people here, giving honor to my Lord and Savior, to Bishop Juan, the pastor here, and all the platform guests, members of the choir. I'm just here, not for form or fashion, But to say black folks just have to have guns, blacks just gotta have guns. We really do. Black folks, just what we really want. Guns. In the world you can be. When you are not white, old blacks, they gotta have guns. Old blacks just gotta have guns. Right? Wake up and your skin not white. You know the supremacists wanna take your black life. You're a sucker if you don't have a gun. And blacks, they've gotta have guns. Oh, blacks just gotta have guns.
That's the old Cyndi Lauper song. Like girls just want to have fun.
No, blacks just have to have guns. Blacks gotta have guns. Blacks gotta have yak.
Doc, let me ask you something.
Everywhere.
Why do you think it's so
In your
important?
hood, they don't care.
Why do you think it's important
Why
for blacks?
wait to be a victim, son? And blacks, you better have a gun. Or the cops ain't gonna come.
Ooh,
Dun, 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 dun. Come on, y'all. Dun, 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 dun. That's what we really want.
Doc,
Black guns. Come on, sing with me.
no,
Tell me why can't we have fun when blacks, they gotta have guns. Oh, blacks just have to have guns. Hallelujah. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna feel like shouting. Oh, well, I got the Holy Ghost. I need a fan. What's the damn fat church usher to like give me a fan? Black people have to have guns.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
A Negro without a gun is like a gigolo with no dick. It's
Ooh.
just absolutely ridiculous that we're even having this discussion. For 500 years of being jacked up and messed over, and you have an opportunity to have your own heater, and you don't have one, who respects preachers anyway? The good ones y'all don't give money to. It's the liar ass preachers that get the money. I know I'm a preacher's kid. I come from hundreds of years of preachers. White ones, Indians, black ones, African ones, and Islamic imams. We got to get something straight in our heads. I have these two books. I'm holding them up, Brother Juan. Here we go. The Deacons for Defense. Deacons for Defense. Can you see it? Deacons
Yes,
for
sir.
Defense. Hold on, this damn light refracts on it. Now you can see it. Deacons for Defense.
Right.
And if I pull this book out and I read to you that black folks are being terrorized by white supremacist terrorists, real talk. In Arkansas, the black preachers, or just say nigger preachers, I'm going to read it to you. The nigger preachers were against the people having protection.
Wow.
Now, wait a minute. See, I got to get down on nigger preachers. Everybody knows the 23rd Psalm. It says, the Lord is my shepherd.
Yes.
What do shepherds do?
They protect the flock.
Shepherds are armed to beat the shit out of wolves and bears and lions.
Yeah.
Shepherds are armed to protect sheep. The Lord is my weapon. I shall not, my ass is secure because God's strapped. I fear no evil, but notice the lack of fear comes only after it's announced that you serve a God that's armed. Not this punkified, faggotified, gay affirming, pro-abortion, pro-trans, pro-illegal, nigger preacher who's also a snitch and a spy on returning citizens. They pushed all that bad medication. They're also doing other things like supporting gentrification of areas while their church expands, and maybe they get a family life center that doesn't help anybody but the preacher's family. They're saying don't have guns, but you know what? The nigger preachers have a relationship with the police. Why? Because on Sunday, when they collect hundreds of millions of dollars from
Yes.
stupid ass black people who are paying an illegal and a religious illegal tax called a tithe, and if your dumb ass is paying it, you deserve to be homeless. When
Mm.
your money's being stolen from you by niggas that don't care, who are supposed to be shepherds protecting you, the police are there in on the grift, and they're
Mm.
there to make certain that hundreds of millions of dollars leave your community and go into a white bank that won't even lend money for the construction of another big ass church to take even more money from a bigger group of suckers. And let's just be honest, a black religious sucker is born every second. I
Wow.
mean, Mr. Barnum, hell, we got a black religious sucker born every moment. Sometimes the women, they, got a couple of love handles and shit more than the ladder that could reach the Empire State Building top. They're waiting for a man, and sometimes it's men waiting for a man, especially if it's in the choir. We need weapons.
Let me ask you
We
something.
we need farms. Let me tell you, the 23rd Psalm, it says, He prepares the table for you. In other words, in economic crisis, He prepares the table for you in the presence of whom? Enemies. But at the very beginning, He lets you know He's got your back. It says, Thy rod, thy staff, a weapon that you could beat someone to death with. What does
Com-
it do? And what does it do?
Comforts me.
My weapon of antiquity to beat the shit out of someone with comforts me, and yet the same nigga preacher that you're paying this illegal tax to. I don't like preachers. I went to divinity school. I thought I was going to be a mass shooter and shit. I mean, I love God, but I just God help, just get me out, just get me out of divinity. I thought I hated preachers when I went into divinity school. I really hated them after I got there.
What
And they
is,
were talking about, let me just let me talk. I'm the guest. Shit.
go ahead, Doc.
These coons, I heard them talk about working to like get people to give up their guns 30 years ago.
Mm.
Do you know that America, I think about 75% of the homes have weapons now?
Okay.
Why don't we have it? Isn't that equality? We do everything like white folks. Now even claim we're non-binary and shit, especially you entertainer niggas. Well, it seems as if white people are obsessed with guns and you want to have blonde hair like Beyonce. Well, why can't we have guns? Isn't it what white people do since nobody wants to be black? Let's just admit it. We're a bunch of self hating fucks that don't like our skin, our nose, our hair. And we just wish we could be like white people. Then, damn it, be like fucking white people and strap up and back up. Aside from that, since you're trying to force yourself on them, live in their neighborhoods, date their children, and they don't like it, you're going into a hazardous situation unarmed, dumbass. Seems like you should be strapped up since you're trying to marry the Klansman, the Grand Dragon's daughter. That's the only one you can get a hard on for. The one who has like Nazi tattoos on her boobs. That's the one you want. The
Mm.
one with the sign, I hate niggas, kill niggas, on the welcome mat. That's the crystal meth smoking, toothless slut that you got to be with.
Wow.
It seems like you have a weapon just because they don't like the kind of love you like. And that's for black women. For all of you that want zaddies, why would you get with a dude with a house full of guns and you don't have one? Let me just remind you, homes where there are lots of guns, in particular white families, are 5 times more likely for them to just shoot everyone in the household. Isn't it interesting that the white women and kids that get offed, they're against guns, and the
Hmm.
sociopathic white dude that terrorizes them is armed to the teeth? Seems as if you're going to run after Zaddy, if you really studied your man, since you've got to be with a white man, all black men ain't shit, and I can't blame you for that. You've been listening to that ugly bitch Oprah. then damn it, really be as white as you can and arm yourselves, right? You like Crazy Horse, he had a gun, right? You like Chairman Mao, he had guns. You like Castro, he had guns.
Mm.
Why all your heroes and shit have guns, but you don't you want to be like your heroes? What's wrong with you? What's
Mm.
wrong with us that we don't want to protect? Is being black so ugly, disgusting, and miserable that our lives aren't worth fighting for?
Well,
You say you believe in a God that loves everybody. You mean he doesn't love you enough for you to at least have a fair chance in a firefight? Or did God just want black people to be victims? To be basically I don't know, the suppository of humanity? Or does he want us to have an equal chance? Surely a loving God would want me to have at least a chance to defend myself. Didn't he give David some rocks to pop Goliath upside the head?
he did.
Didn't he give the army to the people, the Hebrews? Didn't he even go before and help kill off the people that he had to fight? And you mean you can't have a little teeny tiny gun safely locked away so your kids can't show it to school for show and tell? Show a little racist, bisexual, pedophile teacher that's trying to screw your kids because you're not smart enough to homeschool or fight for black teachers. So, hey, look, my father has a gun. Police report it. Lock the shit up. We need guns. If I said to my friends in Chicago, who I will be doing programming with, there are 10 million illegal people in this country, all male, military age, and they don't search them, which means some of them come to this country from Mexico, which is the epicenter for the last 15 to 20 years of illegal gun trade in the Americas. They come up here armed to the teeth,
They
and
do.
they are robbing, shooting, killing, shitting on the porches, stealing people's barbecue grills and shit, stealing people's pumpkins off the porch, and they're armed. And you know what? I watched here, no more than a mile from my house, a Mexican who had stabbed another Mexican,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
threatened to kill the police, threatened to kill all of them, and they didn't arrest him. And I
Wow.
asked the fucked up African policeman, how is it possible to threaten to kill peace officers and there's no consequence? And that African policeman who hated Black Americans, yes, he's from Nigeria, scammer, said that we've been told to go light on these people.
Wow.
Translation, they've been told to let them do what the hell they want. I want to say to you that for all of our sisters that just can't keep your body covered, you think you have a right for your ass cheeks to be exposed. A lot of these men from other countries, it is not seen as bad to kill a woman that they see as a whore or rape a woman that they see as a whore or to abuse a woman that they see as not having a lot of virtue. There's a whole culture out there for all the little no good black pork chop feminists out there who are the main people pushing them to say there's an element of black women that is so fucking off code, it's despicable. Whenever you see someone, whether it's Letitia James starting a fight with Trump, whether it's Fannie Willis down in Georgia starting a fight with Trump, or this Jamaican broad with the Jewish husband who looks like Bernie Casey with anorexia nervosa is starting a fight with Trump. We got all of these off-code sisters starting fights with armed white men with fat mouths, bad attitudes. And I'm gonna just say this to you: I'm
Okay.
against I'm against violence for women, but in other cultures, I'm just saying, for women everywhere else, women out of order, they kick the women in the ass. I'm against it, but that's how they deal with it. I know women, you can't touch me. I'm watching more cases of police, often Latino and others, beating black women's asses like they beat women where they come from.
Mm.
And my friend, if I don't have a gun or anything, and a bunch of Latino cops decide to beat up on the sister, right? What can you do? Um, our sisters need to be protected even from themselves. Like sometimes telling person to shut the fuck up. Having a vagina doesn't mean that you always have a good opinion, although your vagina may be good. Your opinion sucks. We need to be armed. We're going to see more people, and it's happening in places like Cleveland. All these disappearing black women and girls. And by the way, they stick together. So when you see one of them, they're like mice. When you
Mm,
see one mouse, you got more. If you fight one of them, they're going to come in numbers against you. So this bullshit, let me just talk about bitch ass black men, because a lot of black men are bitches. We use the word bitch because we are the bitches. Our women are just kind of macho. We're the real bitches. Real men stick together, form units, and gather numbers for collective power. They don't
okay.
run around thinking I'm the biggest nigga with the biggest balls. And I mean I can fertilize all the women on the planet and I don't care if all the other black men are dead. No other group of men are so fucking fratricidal as bitch ass black men who don't
Mm,
think they need the next guy. Even sodomite black men think they need each other. Why do black men that like pussy hate every other guy? If he ain't trying to screw you, what's your problem with him? I call that brotherfucker culture. The brotherfucker culture is a white supremacist idea of manhood that we've internalized, that we don't need the next guy. We can't trust the next guy. We don't have to work with the next guy. You can handle everything yourself as one person. No other group of men that hope to survive have the same stupid ass ideas as dumbass black American men. We're dumb as shit. We need each other. And I'm not talking about sex, I'm talking about protection. I'm talking about things like the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porter. All of you bastards are beneficiaries of 7,000 black men refusing to sell each other out, standing up to one of the most important corporations in this country called the Pullman Corporation.
okay.
7,000 black men refuse to sell each other out. That is basically the most important black organization prior to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SNCC, CORE, but black men that wouldn't stab each other in the back, who collectively came together to have better lives for their family, and they were armed.
What year was
Our
that?
people, in the 1920s and 30s, A. Philip Randolph was the head of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. And what I'm saying to you is that we black men, if you think if some Mexican bother you or your house, whatever, you can kick his ass. He's gonna come back deep. Whether
That's,
he's 4'2" or if he's a regular height, they come in numbers. The day of black men being the ball hog bitch, the only person that's on the court and don't need a team, is gonna get a whole lot of stupid ass black men dead. And the only black men that seem to know that they need each other those that have had to deal with the Mexican mafia in jail or the Aryan nations in jail. You
mm,
damn sure need the next black man, you dumbass, you stupid ass, you bitch ass man that think you don't need the next brother. We need each other and we better be armed. And you can't count. You're not doing your part of the team if you don't have a gun and your friends are supposed to lend their gun to you. I mean, do you lend your woman's pussy to your guy? No. Then why should he have to carry a gun for you? I mean, this is part of white male culture. When you were 21, you had to have a gun.
that's right.
You know why? It was because we're here. Seems as if we would, at affirmative action, have guns too. Where do you think black freedom came from, you dumbasses? Do you think it came because Abraham Lincoln had a hard on for black freedom? Or that 400,000 black men had guns in the
Mm,
American Civil War and shot people? And why do you think the Reconstruction lasted as long as it did? Because the people accepted the defeat of the Confederate Army of the Confederate States of America, or that there were Union leagues and black militias that fought pitched battles with white supremacists. Um, this freedom y'all take for granted or whatever, even if you don't think you have much freedom, you need to travel your ass and find out how free you are relative to a lot of other places, ignorant
Right.
black folks. Yes, I'm talking down to if we were up where we were supposed to be, this wouldn't even be a discussion. It's unthought of in certain cultures not to be armed. In tribal cultures like in Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Libya, Mauritania, everybody's armed because they're group conflicts.
Right.
Isn't aren't we hated? Or do Negroes think that they're cool? They've been watching too much MTV and television where all these people, different races, hugging and touching each other. That's Madison Avenue trying to sell black people products we should be buying in the first damn place. That's to encourage black consumption. We love you. Give us all your money, ex-slave. So we need guns. And I'm going to say something. We got to talk about these nigga preachers in here. In this book here, it mentions the Deacons for Defense
Okay.
that the black pastors were against the people protecting themselves from the Ku Klux Klan.
Say that again. Say that again.
Black pastors were against black people protecting themselves from the Ku Klux Klan
Wow.
because they might lose their church building. So you shouldn't protect yourself because the church I'm taxing you for 10% of your income could get damaged if people are mad at you standing up. They may burn my religious juke joint. So
Mm.
you not protect your wife and babies so I can collect 10% of your money and tell you about the hereafter. Okay, I prefer anime niggas. I'm just saying. Now, I want to do some more here. This book here,
Which one is that?
hold on, talks about how the black folks all over the South were being massacred and had to start arming themselves.
What's the name of that book? What's the name of that book?
It's called We Will Shoot Back.
Okay.
And I have another shirt here. It's called the Bloody Shirt. And it just talks about the mass murders of black people all over the South following the Civil War. Do people know that white people killed anywhere from 25 to maybe 100,000 or more black people after the Civil War? They just murdered them.
They don't know.
I mean, I don't know that they just killed people. I mean, it's not, they just killed people. Did they know that black folks were driven out of this whole state of Kentucky? They would just come in and tell black folks, get out, or we're going to kill everybody that's here. And those people didn't have the option to protect themselves. There's something morally evil with these nigger churches and nigger preachers. I'm going to say something. Any of you can go to YouTube and look for the Pullman Porter documentary that was done on the Chicago PBS station. And you'll find that the AME Church, the nation's oldest, most historic black church, the same ones that say abortion's health care, the same ones that are gay affirming, that say gay rights are civil rights, the same ones that are supporting illegals overrunning our neighborhoods, the same AME church that's full of Masons and satanic Greek letter Negroes. We're taking bribes from the Pullman Porter Company to prevent black men and women from having unions to have a living wage. Nigger preachers who want 10% of your damn money are against you having enough money to live on. We've had this over and over and over again. I feel like reading some out of this book about what they said about the conflict that the nigger preachers were out there resisting, fighting against the people giving, being able to protect themselves. I said, damn, what you want? Why won't you people support us? Because we have enemies within our community.
You mean traitors?
Traitors, people worthy of death. Yes, I said it. I mean, everybody know I don't like preachers, and I studied to be one. That's probably my problem. When you're around Negroes and they say, you know what? If the cops or someone shot someone in my church, hell. That's on them. I know they better remember my anniversary. I mean, hear stuff
Again,
like this is wow. Well, wait. This is how come y'all don't want to do anything for your people, man? It's always man, white folk in power. Man, I gotta take care of me. Huh?
mm,
I gotta take care of me, and that's how that is, uh, right? And these folks don't give a damn, and so we're being led by people. We trust people who are against us. The new slave traders, the new slave traders in our community are your Negro pastors. I mean that. I'm telling you, I ain't speaking nothing but the truth. I don't trust the average preacher further than I can have an EPT or an AIDS test put on there, as well as check to see if they're a sex offender. I got sent on a mission to Africa with a dude who raped a man my age. No one even told me when I got back and asked the pastor, "Is what's up with the bishop, man? Something's." I says,
awful.
and you know what? I asked a friend. He says, "You need to look that dude up. Look him up. Look him up. Look him up." That's okay. I looked up, and it turned out the pastor had been arrested for aggravated sexual assault, which means he raped a man in his ass who was
Mm,
my age and turned out to look like me. And the church sent me with this kid. By the way, they're against it. They don't ever want to stand up. They don't ever want to tell the truth. Let me see. Here we go. I found a portion of here. Let me see. Let me see if I can find. Can I read some of this? Because as part of the Angry Black Men's Book Club, I don't want to just tell y'all something. I want
oh,
y'all to see.
before you read it, let me let people know again you are on live with Dr. Randy Short. We're talking about pro-choice traders and other
And
events.
that we're pro-choice to be armed.
Right.
To me, either you're for life or you're for death. If you're for life, you want to be protected. If you're for death, you want your kids to be victimized. And I'm going to just say this. There's a very good documentary. I think I sent it to you, Brother Juan, on the French Gestapo, how the criminal class of the French got with the Germans to mass kill French people. We've got a violent, despicable element of black folks that are worthy of death. They're
Mm,
never going to do the right thing. You need a gun for their ass, too. In this
no,
very house, many years ago, I remember opening my door
right.
and a person opening their coat and flashing their gun, basically letting me know I could shoot you to death in your doorway and there's nothing you can do. I'm a
Mm,
criminal that's armed, and you're a law-abiding nigga that just died. And and by the way, for all of you that are soft on black killers and rapists and murderers, we have the lowest rate of homicide resolution where black people live, meaning that there are a lot of people that kill, and keep on killing, and they don't
okay.
even bother to do anything about getting killers off the street. And they kill black people every year in the thousands.
Again, this is Dr. Randy Short on these airwaves, bringing you some clarity, another perspective. Again, a lot of us, we go along to get along.
Mhm.
I just put up there the proof of love is the willingness to protect. And you know, like you were saying about the preachers, if
No good. No
you're not
good.
warning the people, if you're not, wa- how you say you love people if you're not warning them,
Well,
if you're
you
not
don't.
trying to
You love their money. You know, you love their pocketbook. You love their checkbook.
Mm,
You love them filling the seats so when you drone and give a boring ass sermon that nobody understands, that the room is you love not having an empty house. You don't give a damn about God or nobody. I'm sorry. These preachers ain't shit. Most of them aren't shit. It's a business.
I
It'd
just
be better if they had a barber shop. I mean, man, as I said, let me just repeat what I said in the church. Remember, I said the pimp sells pussy, the liquor store sells liquor, The dope man sells dope and the black church sells bullshit. That's false advertising. True liberation, true salvation would be towards life. Now,
Mm.
can I read this? Can I read some?
Go ahead and
This,
read
this,
it.
this is, you ready?
Read it. Go
This
ahead.
Deacons, Deacons for Defense. Our Resistance in the Civil Rights Movement by Lance Hill. It's on Amazon. If you can get a hardback, it's several $100s. They don't want you thinking about protecting yourself. Let me read this to y'all. Let me read this. Where should I start?
Right there.
Uh, okay. In truth, the white political establishment offered a tempting assortment of patronage rewards to compliant black leaders, read nigger preachers. Patronage, read bribes. So the Klansmen and the Nazis had a nigger preacher slush fund, and
Mm.
every city has one. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes, they do. Okay. To reward compliant black leaders in an effort to discourage them from conducting disruptive civil rights protests, a bribe for Negroes to stay in the gutter where they've been confined by racism.
Right.
Let me keep reading. Inducements included positions in government and public education, ranging from school bus drivers to school administrators. White political patronage bought influence and loyalty in the black community. The practice testified to the fact that white domination rested on more than repression and fear. So, in part, our subordination oppression rests on nigger treason, nigger preacher treason in particular,
Mm.
Boulay treason, Divine Nine treason, Black criminal class treason. We're not free in part because some of us are against our freedom. Let me keep reading. So, domination rested on more than repression and fear. It depended on consent by a segment of the black middle class. Conflicts over segregation were to be resolved by gentlemen. That means the preachers meet with the Klansmen behind closed doors.
Mm.
Mhm. Time and again, civil rights activists in Louisiana found the black middle class and clergy to be significant obstacles
Wow.
to organizing. One activist in East Feliciana Parish reported that the lack of interest in voter registration in 1964 could be attributed to, among other things, the general fear-inducing activity of the very active community of towns.
Mm.
Every move we make, listen to this, is broadcast by them to that the broadcasted them to the whole town. They snitched out the black fighters to the white people so they could be killed.
Wow.
Nigger preachers. That's why I talk about the bitches like I do. I couldn't care fuck about them. I mean, I hope they all would quadruple backs, disappear. Listen, indeed, the mass media technique represented a rudimentary form of working class control over the black middle class and redefined the political decision making process in the black community. Prior to the civil rights movement, racial conflicts and issues were normally negotiated by intermediaries, middle class power brokers, and NAACP, or the Voters League. During the civil rights movement, direct democracy, mass meetings assembled the black community to make decisions by consensus, a process that functioned not only to build community support for the leaders' decisions, but also to prevent middle class leaders from
Mm.
making secret agreements and compromises with the white power structure.
So Doc, what you're
Also,
saying is we didn't get here by accident.
no, listen to this. Pleb- ple- Plebiscitary, oh, white, plebiscitary democracy guaranteed. That means voting. Yeah.
Yeah.
$5 word. I've never even seen. I've seen plebiscite. I've never seen plebiscitary. Plebiscitary democracy guaranteed that all agreements had to pass muster with the black rank and file. That means everybody black had a voice, not just the boule niggas and preachers. That was a change. That was a change in the 60s, is that everybody got in. And we've been hijacked by the boule, the nigger preachers, the Greeks, the Masons. And now they talk, they support the illegals shitting on our porches and raping our kids and take this everything for everyone but us because certain people like Roland Martin benefit. Let me keep reading, y'all. Listen to this. Plebiscitary democracy guaranteed that all agreements had to pass muster with the black rank and file, the working class, the poor, and the youth. Young people, y'all being left out because of, boomer niggas, yo, Negro spirituals. I'm so glad black activism don't last always. This sorry ass people. There were good reasons for the suspicions exhibited by the rank and file. Black leadership was more complex and divided than the undifferentiated, united image reflected in the popular historical myth of the civil rights movement. In other words, what you've been told about civil rights movement is a fucking goddamn lie. The traitors were always working. They helped kill Malcolm. They helped kill Medgar. They helped kill the civil rights workers. They killed Emmett Till. Blacks helped kill my cousin Emmett Till. Blacks helped kill Martin Luther King. Black traitors, many of them nigger preachers. Let me keep reading. God damn nigger preachers. Motherfuckers. Okay. The movement did not march in unison and speak with one voice. So they have a voice different from ours.
Mm.
The black community had its share of traitors, Sharpton, rascals, Clyburn, and ordinary fools, Fannie Willis. In general, though, the leaders of the Voters League in Jonesboro were honorable men who had the community's interests at heart. Nonetheless, it was difficult for the League to generate enthusiasm for voting rights when the ballot benefited only a handful of elite blacks. That's why they're always screaming, y'all need to vote. Y'all need to vote. Y'all need to vote. Why aren't y'all voting? No to guns, no to jobs, no to reparations, no to the border being sealed, no to youth programs, no to prenatal care, no to health care, no, but y'all need to vote because they're getting the government positions. Whenever I see a first black anything, except for the first nigga killed for selling out, I get scared. Ooh, there's a black woman that will be in charge of public executions. This is the first black woman executioner. That's historic. We're fucking stupid. Damn. Oh, he's the first person to perform involuntary vasectomy on black prisoners. You're a pioneer. What did you first think, sir, that you were giving vasectomies to minors so they couldn't procreate more black life? Well, I was figuring I had a responsibility to my government and my community. No, you hear these fuck niggas talking. God damn. Let me keep reading. Okay. For most black voters in Jonesboro, elections offered them little more than a Hobson choice between racism and more racism. Like the fuck niggas in the Democratic Party that tell you vote. And I spent most of today trying to expose crooked ass nigger Republicans. I'm registered as a Republican. I'm going to tell you a lot of black Republicans are less than the dog shit that people pick up after their pets. I mean that. You heard me say it. Okay. Let me keep going. I don't have loyalty to bullshit. Let me keep reading. Deep divisions existed between the black clergy and the movement in Jonesboro. Only one church, Pleasant Grove Baptist Church, initially supported the movement, which
Mm.
meant the black church was against black people.
Wow.
Damn. Mm. See why? See why I worship at home? I'm in a home church. I will never. You know what? If they want 10%, like I see tithes like a sandwich. If these crooked nigga preachers want a tithe, it's like a sandwich. You can have a tithe off of when I'm finished eating it. Y'all get what you can have all of that. You can have 100% once I got mine. Um, mm, 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 mm. Let me keep reading because this should just make me mad. I'm feeling violent.
Don't get bad.
Okay. Pleasant Grove had a highly active, concerned membership led by Henry and Ruth Amos, who operated a gas station, and Percy Bradford, a cab driver and mill worker. The dearth of civil rights church leaders in Jonesboro was no anomaly. In other
Mm.
words, it's the norm for the preachers to be against the people. In both large cities and small towns in the South, the attitude of black clergy means preacher for you with limited vocabularies. The attitude of black clergy towards the movement in generally ranged from indifference
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
outright hostility. Medgar
Right.
Evers, the martyred Mississippi NAACP leader, once grumbled that the minister won't give us 50 cents for fear of losing face
Mm.
with the white man. Martin Luther King didn't mince words about the complacency of his brothers of the collar in Birmingham. Dr. King said, I'm tired of preachers riding around in big cars, living in fine homes, but not willing to fight their part. If you can't stand up with your own people, you're not fit to be a leader. Don't that sound like him? Mm.
Mm.
Okay. That's what Dr. King said. These people aren't fit. And they get 10% of your dumbass income. And some of you give more than that. You subsidize your own genocide.
Wow.
The
Wow.
conservative character of rural black clergy was owing to several factors. Church
Mm.
buildings were vulnerable to arson and retaliation for civil rights activity. Black churches in the South were frequently located outside the town in remote, unguarded areas, it- which means you should have guarded it. It was common for insurance companies to cancel insurance on churches that had been active in the movement. Moreover, the real issue, see, this dude's trying to be nice, but the transitional word here is moreover. What it really means is, look, moreover, black ministers depended on a good relationship with whites to obtain loans for the all important brick and mortar building projects. It didn't have a fucking thing to do with the people. It was all about their business, their
Wow.
religious real estate. To hell with the people paying their money for it to happen. Okay. But
Mm.
the clergy's conservatism was also emblematic of the contradictory character of the black church. Oh, it's full of contradictions. The character of the black church, on one hand, the church was a force for change,
Was.
was not anymore.
Right.
COVID proves that. It provided safe and nurturing sanctuary in a hostile, oppressive world. Not for all the kids that have been molested. Bullshit. In the midst of despair, it forged a new community. Really? Well, why there's so many busted up denominations? They divide amongst themselves, fighting over people's finish. Nourish racial solidarity, they say, define community values, and provided pride and hope. And when it adopted the 20th century social gospel theology as practiced by Martin Luther King, the Black church could even be a powerful vehicle for social justice and national redemption.
Mm.
He keeps making this nice now. Let me get the real paragraph. See, this is an academic book. And when you write an academic book, you have to please people. I know because I've done it. And you can't just say, because folks will jump all over you. You have no idea how controlled you are. How, when people write, have to think about people jumping all over them for saying what we all know to be true. In contrast to this uplifting role, though, the black church could lapse into a fatalistic outlook. In other words, we can't win, just accept white people putting their foot up our ass and on our head.
And,
You know,
and not
Floyd
just
George
that,
out.
and not just that. That fatalistic outlook is waiting for somebody to save them instead of them trying to save themselves.
Okay. Now, so
Hold
fatalistic outlook that bred passivity and political cynicism.
There it is right there.
Shit can't change, won't change, so I ain't doing nothing.
There it is right there.
Fatalism is a rational, effective adaptation in reactionary times when people live on hope alone. Some of the black clergy preach the gospel of resignation,
Mm,
extolling the glories of heaven and eschewing. Eschewing is a $5 word for not doing shit, for eschewing social and political reform, and yet honor the colored line and its attendant traditions of deference. In other words, the church promoted white supremacy and black inferiority and black subordination.
the
The
church
church did it. The
literally
nigger preachers did this.
preaches
Yes,
the
yes, the preachers did it. Not even the white people. These are Negroes on autopilot selling us out. Let me
mm,
keep going. Eschewing social and political reform, worse yet, honor the color line and its attendant traditions of deference. During the Montgomery bus boycott, Black leader E.D. Nixon, the uncle of my friend Viola Bradford down in Montgomery, Alabama, who was the head of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, by the way, in the city of Montgomery,
right.
just want to tell you that, gave voice to the frustration that many felt with the black clergy. Let me tell you, gentlemen, one thing. Nixon told a group of ministers who had gathered to organize the bus boycott. You ministers have lived off these washwomen for the last 100 years and
Wow.
ain't never done nothing for them.
Mm.
Nixon scolded that it was shameful that women were leading the boycott while the ministers were afraid to even have their names published as supporters.
So Doc,
Listen, hold on, let me finish. We've worn aprons all our lives. It's time to take the aprons off if we're going to be men's.
mm.
Now it's the time to be men. I,
So
I land my plane. How
I
y'all doing? How y'all doing? I want to wave to all y'all out there. Please share this, like this, retweet this. We're on the Lone Wolf Firearms channel. We're on the Angry Black Men's Book Club channel. And we're talking real shit on what's not the Lord's Day. The Lord's Day was yesterday. But the same way nigga preachers tell you no to guns, they tell you Sunday's the day to pray to God. If your dumb ass follows them with the guns, why not follow them to worship God on the wrong day? And why not give up 10% of your money for them to help other people kill you? I mean, we black people that think we can't save all y'all. Some dumb fuck black people will just, you're going to be collateral damage in this struggle of the races. I'm sorry.
yes. Say it again, Doc. Collateral damage.
Collateral damage in the struggle of the races. We can't get you to think. We can't ask the women to be women or the men to be men or for seniors to be adults. And we can't get the children to be kids. So we'll lose some. But we tried. Go ahead, brother. It's your show. I'm going to shut up now.
No, Doc, listen to me. I am taking this all in. As you was reading, I still kept thinking about the betrayal of the ministers. We don't deal with that. We keep giving these guys a pass, but they have proven they cared nothing about the collective. They only
They've never cared about the collective. The
yeah.
Bible describes these people as hirelings, right? That's what the Bible calls preachers. The evil preachers in John 10, hirelings. These are people in it for the motherfucking money. And by the way, preachers get reparations every Sunday, and they don't ever want you to get yours.
Watch this. I just posted Isaiah 56 and 10 said his watchmen are blind. They're all ignorant. They're dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving the slumber. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. They are shepherds. They are shepherds, family, that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain, from his quarter. We're talking about people who do not care for the collective. Say this again. I, I just put up there that the proof of love is the willingness to protect. If you're not ready to protect something, you don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not ready and willing to protect something, you don't love it. You protect what you love. It's too many people out here who are literally my biggest opponents to the gun piece is males, not just males, preachers.
Mm-hmm. And we use the term fagonist. Fagonist.
What is that?
A fagonist is a simp, feminist, weakling black dude who's male, basically for sex alone. He don't do. There's nothing manly about the dude. Nothing. Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry. This stuff is not really that good.
I hear,
Sorry.
I hear you.
I mean, well, certain people don't. They need to upgrade your mics because everybody else hears. If your Wi-Fi sucks, you in trouble.
Let me put this.
Sorry,
I'm putting
because I hear everybody. Now,
it.
look, we got to be honest.
Okay.
The no good preachers, the no good preachers, um, the no good preachers are so many, man. They're so bad. All I can tell you about the no good preachers is that we can't wait for them. I have a teeny fellowship. Uh, I encourage everybody to have a gun, you know, so we can sing Never Alone, right? No Never Alone.
Right.
And aside from No Never Alone, have a damn piece to back up in case you are physically alone that you could deal, you know. So you should be like this: because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. That's why I know
Step back.
he he holds the future, and
Mhm.
life is worth living just because I'm gonna live. He lives. Look, there's the only reason that a Negro preacher is doing a gun buyback is because he's getting paid to disarm the people. No good preachers, liar, nigger preachers. Do you know? I'm over the top for some of you, and you know I really don't give a damn. I had a preacher from a church up in Michigan call me, and he said, "You make me feel bad." I says,
What?
"I can make you feel anything." I says, "I don't know you. I've never called your name."
Hmm.
And he says, "Well, you make me feel bad because you're telling the truth. I
Mm.
know other preachers, they hate you. They don't call you a liar. They want to know, why do you keep doing this? What
Mm.
do you have against them? Why don't you just set up a church and screw over the people like everybody else? You have a divinity degree." And I told him, um, my purpose, if if it's to serve the people, you tell them the truth.
Yes.
You prepare, you help, you encourage, you enlighten. I would never tell someone to be disarmed.
Right.
Do you know that there are statues in various places? There's a statue in Chicago to a white Jewish man that helped lead a massacre of maybe as many as 2,000 black people
Mm.
in the United States not too long ago. And they have statues and monuments to people who murdered us. They honor them. Wow. In a country that honors people that would rape, murder, burn black women and babies alive, what the hell kind of man of God would I be if I told people not to protect themselves? And we don't have to do this much longer because we could stop in a few because we can pick this back up. And see, we need to do more readings. I got this book here. I should read to y'all what happened in Mississippi. How the white folks just decided to kill black people because they felt like it.
Mm.
And it just went around just killing everybody.
Hey,
Because, and there was, in fact, let me read, it's just 3 pages.
reminded me of a Red Summer.
Red Summer, actually, it started here in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Red Summer started here in Washington, D.C. because white people, soldiers coming back from World War I, were angry when they got to DC. Black people were making good money, establishing businesses, having cars. And white folks who had never had a car saw black people with cars. They had a nervous breakdown. And they began planning to punish black people for working. The one thing they say, we're lazy, we don't want to work, we're not motivated, we're dirty, we're nasty, we're sloppy. And they're seeing these black people succeeding and doing well because there was a black Wall Street here in Washington, D.C.,
Okay.
along Old Boundary Street, aka U Street Northwest, Letroit Park, black folks with mansions. The white people lost their minds. Niggas live, this has to stop. And one of the things that started back in 1914, now I need to just give you some background. How many of you guys know that black men were forced to use cocaine to have certain jobs? You had to use cocaine or you couldn't get a job. That taking cocaine was a job requirement. How many of you know this? How many of you know when you start a job, they gave you cocaine? You had to take it. You couldn't say no because a white person said. And from black people being forced to use cocaine, many blacks became cocaine addicts.
Okay.
The same white people that forced black people to use cocaine then began to say that black men that use cocaine, using cocaine made black men want to rape white women. So
Mm.
after forcing blacks to take cocaine, then they passed the first drug laws in this country to punish black men around cocaine consumption. I'm just saying, long before Biden's sorry ass that y'all voted for, silly bitches. Anyway, let me keep going. So in DC, the allegations were black men snorting cocaine, no, taking cocaine, were raping white women all over Washington, D.C. And each time a white woman would be raped, supposedly, the white community got angry and angry. They're going to show these arrogant niggas who thought because you fought in the war in France and y'all were decorated, y'all could just come and rape white women. And what happened is the white folks said, y'all got to stop the raping. And yet every week a different white woman would come forward and say she was raped by a black man. And white folks said, we're going to stop this. And the black community says, hey, look, we don't want the problem. Look, can we help you stop these black men from raping white women? And it says, no, niggas. It should have never, ever happened. So we're going to punish all of y'all. And by the way, the last woman allegedly raped by a black man, because they kept giving a list of the white women raped by black men. The last woman that they said was white and raped, when they found out she was high yellow, it wasn't a rape anymore. And so the white people got angry and they decided that they knew who the rapist was. And so what happened, it started here in DC, right in front of the White House, that the white people began to take black people off of the streetcars and try to beat them to death, stomp, kick, stab. And they even had a plan. It just came out of nowhere and attacking black people, beating people, beating grandmothers, beating children. No one was spared. No one.
Right.
And the police were in on it. They never did anything.
Okay.
They looked the other way. And then once the white people just beat up the black people downtown, they all marched down the Southwest to try to find this black rapist that's raping all the white women. And they went through and couldn't find them. And so they got mad and they decided what they really wanted to do was they didn't want the rapists. What they really wanted to do was destroy Howard University and Detroit Park and the Black Wall Street of Washington. They wanted to burn to the ground to teach black people to be humble. And so the black people from Southwest got together with black people in Northwest and set up machine gun positions. I repeat, machine gun positions to shoot at white soldiers, policemen, and mobs that were coming to mass murder and mass burn Black DC. And so, but before that even happened, I want to go back to 1917, where it happened sort of the same way. Blacks were doing very well in a place called East Location, aka East St. Louis. And the whites got mad because the blacks were buying property, setting up businesses. And in fact, blacks in East St. Louis in 1917 were poised to elect the first black mayor of a major urban northern city. And so people in Chicago and in Washington, D.C., oh, you know about them. It's called the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, with the Illinois State Democratic Party, with the Illinois National Guard, with the AFL-CIO led by Samuel Gompers, a racist Jew. And they went down to East St. Louis to teach black people a lesson. And it started with white people just attacking black people, shooting, beating, stabbing anyone black. Without any warning, just start beating. See, y'all don't realize people walk around in their head with a mind to destroy us all. It doesn't matter if you said that's already there. So what happens? The blacks in East St. Louis began to be the subjects of white terrorism, where the whites would drive around and just shoot into the black people's houses, trying to kill people, trying to run people over with their cars at late at night. And eventually the blacks got tired. And so one night, when people had planned to do a terror raid into the black community, some people shot from a car and some black people shot back. A white man was either killed or injured or both. And the white community surrounded the black community. They burnt up a 100-block area.
Wow.
At one point, about 7,000 blacks lived in the area. And they burned black people alive, murdered them, executed them, with the United States, Illinois National Guard hunting black people like animals. Now, what's interesting, some people that were able to escape East St. Louis, it's called the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad that runs from Baltimore all the way to East St. Louis. Some of the people were able to escape East St. Louis and come to Washington, D.C. And a black man who was for guns named Samuel Chase, who owned a newspaper called the Washington Bee, along with his favorite black woman friend, Nanny Helen Burroughs, the establishing personality of the National Training School for Girls, began to warn blacks in DC, almost prophetically from God. And for all you atheists and fake Afrocentric niggas out there that hate the Bible and God because you don't know anything, a highly religious Nanny Helen Burroughs and a highly religious Samuel Chase began to warn blacks in DC that they would be the next community that white people would destroy,
Mm.
and that black people had to have guns because there would be an attempt to mass murder black people in Washington, D.C., and the government and the army would either help or do nothing. So blacks in Washington, D.C., starting in 1917, began to collect guns to protect themselves from the future attack of the outraged, barbaric, racist mob. And in July of 1919, the beginning of the Red Summer,
It's summer.
the white folks struck. And the blacks who were armed in DC were so successful in defending themselves from white violence until you're not taught about the DC race riot. The Red Summer starts a week later in Chicago
Mm.
because for every black killed, 3 or 4 whites got killed. The blacks beat the whites so badly, the United States Army had to intervene to protect the white people from a well-organized, well-trained black snipers and even a motorized machine gun unit. Real talk. Long before the spook sat by the door, long before the Black Panthers, long before the Republic of New Africa, and even a story I remember reading of a black man who took the train from Baltimore to DC. And when he got there were a group of policemen that were going to try to lynch him. And he shot several of them dead and escaped. They shot several policemen. In fact, the black community targeted police because when it happened in Wilmington and other areas, the police would disarm the black community so the white mobs could murder black women and children. And so today, when you look at the preachers disarming the people, they're now doing the work of dirty cops. And I'm going to go further. In Chicago, where the next riot was, a black kid accidentally swum on the white side of the beach in Lake Michigan, and the white people stoned him to death for accidentally swimming into the white area. When you're underwater, you can't see. That didn't spare him. Do people hate you that much today? We hate ourselves enough the way we're killing to do it. So God forbid what the Nazis feel. I don't think the Nazis hate us any less than our no good criminals, our traitors, and our no good preachers, and those filthy boule Greek letter Masonic traitors. And so, my friends, we've been at this juncture before. And by the way, the moral of the Red Summer is that prior to 1919, going all the way back to what's called the Jacksonian era, did you know from about 1828 all the way to basically all the way into the 1870s, it was a ritual of whites to go around and burn up and kill black people in communities across the country every year. There were massacres in Philadelphia, a massacre in Cincinnati. This was the norm. The whites would just descend and hurt black people. They felt like it.
And let me add a footnote.
And the blacks were not they weren't armed. They were not armed.
After Nat Turner was killed, 1831, they really went on a killing spree.
Yeah, they did, and it continued. These Jacksonian riots, they would just attack, kill, burn.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened after the Civil War. You've been lied to about what life was like after the Civil War. I blame old Negroes who don't want people to be bitter. They usually got this church bullshit. So you never really hear what's going on. Y'all talk about lynching. Lynching's not the goddamn half. Let me read this book, y'all. I just want y'all to see this. Now, check this out. This is from We Will Shoot Back. Y'all need to get a copy. The real civil rights. Not that I have a dream. My four little children. That's bullshit. Martin Luther King was surrounded by niggas with guns. Did you know that? Those people with the little white hats on were black marshals from the city of New York with guns to shoot people on the steps of the Capitol. If anyone tried to hurt Martin Luther King was surrounded by people with guns.
Facts.
It's a goddamn lie. It's a hustle and a grift for the King family of this generation. Talk all this nonviolent shit. Okay, now let me read this. We're gonna do one more, then we're gonna stop. How y'all doing? And by the way, this is Lone Wolf Firearms. That's a channel. Y'all want to learn about guns? You want to feel safe? You want an NRA certified dude that knows how to help you put the red laser in the right spot, who knows how to take people out, who knows how to show you how to like have your whole house strapped in case Jesus doesn't come back tomorrow for all of you Negroes in denial from the church, just in case he comes next year. It says, be ready. What's that song? I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. Lord, ready to put on my white robe. You need to be ready for whatever bullshit's going to come your way. We've got an NRA. I mean, the white people side. For all you folks know, he was not taught how to fight or shoot by the new Black Panther Party. The white people certified. So I know y'all need white approval. Well, he has goddamn white approval fools. Brother
Facts.
Juan wants to be your power tool guru. And we have a special sale today. We have an MFM, motherfucking money discount. If you want Brother Juan to help you strap up in case, it says storm clouds may rise, storm winds may blow, but I'll tell the world wherever I go that I have a gat and it's sweet. I know you can be an MFM scholar in the Lone Wolf firearms training process. He even does home instruction. All you need to do is reach out to me if you want to be taught, if you want to learn how to get a gun, if you just want to be able to hurt someone, if you want to know about street sweepers, tasers, he knows it all. Hollow points. I mean, he's got it. He's got a house full of them. I want you to email me at wrandyshort@gmail.com.
I'm gonna put it right now, Doc. I'm gonna put it.
And I want, when I do that, I want you to say, I'm an MFM trainee. I want my motherfucking money reparations and I need to be armed. Because let me tell you something. If all of a sudden we all got our multi-million-dollar reparations check tomorrow, rest assured, the way Negroes killed each other over the stimulus checks, you're going to need weapons for the lawless Negroes in our midst, ungrateful friends and family and grifters. If you want to be an MFM firearms scholar, well, you want to truly be down for the cause, write me, and I'm going to forward your email to Brother Juan so you can get a discounted training. So you can be trained to protect yourself. He will travel. He will fly to your house. Yeah, it's paper. But I just, you're shy. You don't want to let people see with your big magnum. You know, you don't want your Rolex watch to get gunpowder on it. He can show you how to do what you need to do. But you see, somebody, somebody out there knows deep down inside that they're getting side-eyed by all kinds of people looking you up because they want to fuck you over, take your shit.
Facts.
You know it, and the time is getting ominous. Would there
It's
be one? Would there be one of you that wants to be saved from being disarmed? It's time for you to come down to the altar of defensive, violent protection, where you can defend yourself from the violence of others by having the ability to deter them. Would there be one? And so you don't have to all raise your hands. You can email me at wrandyshort@gmail.com. You can share this video with us. You know anybody that wants help to get firearms help, legal advice? It doesn't matter the state.
Let me.
Okay, this brother has it. I mean, I'm just telling you, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will be armed and safe in it. Ooh, feel good. Y'all email me. Send them to me. Now don't send us no psychos. And we may take an honorary white person or two. But you need to put MFM. I'm an MFM candidate. I want to be protected. I don't want to be a victim of Negro self-hatred, criminal violence, or white racial terrorism, or people of color bullshit scams. Why wait for someone to screw over you? You know, like they say, before I'll be a slave, you'll be buried in your grave. You know how to reach me, wrandyshort@gmail.com. I want to do a promo if you love this show, and we'll be doing so much more. We don't even talk about this calibers and all this other kind of stuff. Look, support this channel and his. He's Lone Wolf Firearms on YouTube. Lone Wolf Firearms. And of course, I'm the Angry Black Men's Book Club. And we're going to have farmers. We're holistic. I don't just want you to have a gun. I'd like to know how to grow stuff. We're going to have people talking about herbs and this, that, and the other. I'm not talking about the kind you smoke. I'm certain you can help yourselves with that. I want you to support this channel. I have a Patreon. There's several people supporting me on Patreon. I thank each and every one of you. My Patreon is Dr. Randy Short. You can put a few bucks in there. Come on, it's not going to hurt you. Dr. Randy Short, DrRandyShort, Dr. Randy Short. Dr. Randy Short, Dr. Randy Short, Dr. Randy Short is a Patreon. And my Cash App is $ Dr. Randy Short, Dr. Randy Short, $ Dr. Randy Short. If you want to do Zelle or PayPal in particular, you're one of those security Negroes, my Zelle is my email, wrandyshort, wrandyshort@gmail.com. As a PayPal and a Zelle, I want to thank those people. It's rare, but there's someone that blessed me via PayPal and Zelle. I thank you. And by the way, y'all won't believe, Brother Juan bought me one of these books, but I think this book cost me like $45. You have no idea when we share this knowledge. You see all these books all over the place. It costs to get them. And what you need to understand, Amazon, which is full of shit, I call it Scamazon, they've bidded up the price of Black books, where the price of books have gone up maybe 4, 5, or 6 times what they used to be. Information that you really need to know. In fact, a lot of these books, like this really good book here, The Union League Movement in the Deep South. If you look at it, it's an ex-library. This book, I'm lucky. A lot of people, when you get cracker librarians, all the books on Black people, they sell off to make money. They don't want any books on Black people in the library. So I'm lucky to buy ex-library books. Otherwise, I couldn't afford it. But what it really says is that we're being destroyed on paper. All this stuff is happening.
We're
All
being
the stuff,
erased. We're being erased.
we're being erased. in real time. And I'm
Real
not
time.
trying to make you feel scared. I don't want you to be insecure. I just want you to understand we're doing real stuff. You must be like born again. You must be strapped again. You know, they sing that song, I'm on my way to the New Jerusalem, where the sun never goes down. Every day I'm making preparations. I'm packing up, getting ready to go. Well, we're packing up, getting ready to blow. Packing up, getting ready to blow. I'm packing up, packing, packing. Yes, I'm packing. You need to pack. You need to have it. You need to protect yourself, your families. We got 10 million people in this country. We don't know who the hell they are.
Facts.
You've got a Hamas training camp in Texas. You
You
won't know who. You got Afghans. You've got people in this country who've been messed over by U.S. military personnel and American foreign policy who may just want to blow your asses away because they're in America. They're not grateful to be here.
they have no loyalties here.
Let me read this piece here, y'all. Let me read this thing. And oh, Brother Lonnie, this brother always helps me out. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you, Brother Lonnie. Brother Lonnie has me talk to this brother. Do you know in Minnesota that they have had all these black people? There was a white man with at least 20 automatic weapons to mass murder blacks in Minnesota. The
Mm.
police didn't even want to disarm him or do anything about it. I was talking to Brother Edwin up in Minnesota that they had a plan to mass murder black people in Minnesota, and it's all been covered up and suppressed. We're at war. We're at risk. I don't hate anybody. I would tell anybody. I'm very honest with people about my heritage. I am at least a fourth white. Do not hate white people. A significant part of the white is Jew. I do not hate Jews, but I don't like people mistreating anyone. I'm part Native American, and I know about racist ass Indians, and I'm part African. I know Africans that don't like us. I don't hate anybody. I'll like anybody that will give me a chance to like them. If you got character, we'll get along. However, I have the right to verify my safety, and so do you. And anyone. Mr. Lonnie here has a store. They wanted to burn his store down in Minnesota. These anarchists and communists and troublemakers destroyed black property all over this country. No one talks about this so-called Black Lives Matter shit run by a distant cousin of mine. I'm sorry, Patrice Colors. The Colors are my no good relatives from Wilkes County, Georgia. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I didn't do it. You know, sorry. Anyway, let me read this. This is a book, and people like Brother Lonnie and Brother Juan who bought this book for me. Thank you, Brother Juan. I appreciate you. I told you if you gave me this book, I wouldn't just put it on my shelf. When
Right.
people give me a book or send me stuff, I don't say, well, I'm a smart nigga and y'all will never know what I know. I don't do that. I try to say, hey, I would like for you to know you would be better off. So let me read this to you. Let me read this to you because y'all need to hear this. You need to hear how they were treating black people in the South when they couldn't have guns, when they
Mm.
could not, when they weren't allowed, where they estranged us from guns. Let me read this. I'm gonna read a couple of pages and then I'm gonna go because my boss is calling me. My boss is calling me. Okay, here we go. On Christmas Day in 1875, State Senator Charles Caldwell Friedman was invited by Buck Cabell, a white associate, to a store for a friendly drink. Because of his political activities and actions in defense of his people's liberty, from our blacks, Caldwell's life had been threatened by the local white citizens. Due to these threats, Caldwell's wife, Mary, cautioned him about leaving home and traveling to town. Not wanting to offend someone white he had known and respected for years, Caldwell disregarded the concern of his wife and accepted the invitation of Cabell, one of the few white men he trusted, his stupid ass. In fact, Cabell insisted that they have a drink together and escorted the black politician to Chilton's store in Clinton. They went to the store cellar to enjoy their drink. The two men toasted each other by tapping their glasses. With the clink of the glass, a shot was fired from the window of the store and Caldwell fell to the floor.
Wow.
Suddenly, armed white men surrounded Caldwell. He recognized them: community leaders, judges, politicians, men of substance. Not wanting to die like a dog closed up, the wounded man asked to be taken from the cellar to the street. And his last act of courage, the proud politician declared, "Remember, when you kill me, you kill a gentleman and a brave man. Never say you killed a coward. I
Mm,
want you to remember it when I'm gone." Christmas in Clinton was not a silent night. Dozens of shots riveted the body of Caldwell. At the beginning of the 19th century, Mississippi, a territory of the United States acquired in the Louisiana Purchase, consisted of only a few thousand white citizens and captive Africans, as well as indigenous population. In 1870, Mississippi was granted the status of a state in the United States federal union. Demand for land for white settlement and expansion of commercial farming meant the expulsion of the indigenous population and increased demand for captive African labor. Particularly due to the expansion of King Cotton, Mississippi had increased in population. The region east of the Mississippi River was overwhelmingly populated, with 55% consisting of enslaved people of African descent. By 1860, the state had a population of 355,899 whites and 437,404 blacks, with a very small free population of 773. The Mississippi economy was dependent on a system of racial slavery. The end of the Civil War and its corresponding policy of emancipation potentially undermined the white planter class, who relied on the several oppressed black labor force for their livelihood, privilege, and power. The assassination of Caldwell is symptomatic of a reign of terror that defeated Reconstruction democracy and black political participation, as well as human rights in Mississippi and in the South in the mid-1870s. Violence was central to the establishment of white domination, not only to seize power for white supremacists, but also to instill fear and intimidation in the black population and their allies. In a state with a black majority, to secure white supremacy and maintain black labor, particularly rural workers, as a servile force, it was necessary to institutionalize fear and intimidation. Men like Caldwell represented hope for black progress and resistance to white domination.
mm,
Who was Charles Caldwell, and why was he a threat? Caldwell was an enslaved person, a black person living in Hinds County, Mississippi. That's where Jackson is, guys, who became a leader in his community during emancipation. After the end of the Civil War, Caldwell aligned himself with the Republican Party, and in 1868 was one of 16 black Republican delegates to the state constitutional convention. The congressional invention placed the former Confederate states under martial law and would form new governments that would prevent the Confederates from securing power. To neutralize the power of the former Confederates in the South, particularly the Southern elite, it was necessary to include black people in the franchise. In Mississippi, including black males in the body politic meant that the majority of the voting population would be people of African descent. In this political environment, Charles Caldwell emerged and was elected to the 1868 Mississippi Constitutional Convention. With 16 black delegates out of a total of 94, the convention drafted the most democratic constitution in the history of Mississippi until the civil rights era of the 1960s and 1970s. It made all persons residing in the state citizens with the right of trial by jury and other rights provided to U.S. citizens by the Constitution and Bill of Rights. The Mississippi Constitution of 1868 eliminated the property criteria for holding office, jury service, and suffrage. As with other Reconstruction assemblies during the period, the Mississippi Convention of 1868 provided for public education, the elimination of segregation in public accommodations and institutions, and universal adult male suffrage. On the other hand, whites who were linked to the Confederate rebellion against the Union were disfranchised. This policy resulted in 20,000 whites, mostly elite, being denied the right to vote or hold office. Caldwell was an active participant in the 4-month process of drafting a Reconstruction Constitution for his home state. Subsequent to the convention, Caldwell was involved in a shooting incident in Jackson, the Mississippi state capital, in broad daylight. A white man who was the son of a Mississippi judge attempted to shoot Caldwell, but in self-defense, the black leader shot and killed his attacker. Caldwell was tried and acquitted, achieving the distinction of becoming the first and possibly the only black person to win an acquittal after killing a white man in Mississippi.
mm,
Following the convention, the successful defense of his life, the acquittal in Jackson, Caldwell became involved in Hinds County government. In 1870, he was elected to the state senate. Caldwell and other black politicians participated in the state government. After the election of 1873, black men were elected to offices of lieutenant governor, secretary of state, superintendent of education, and speaker of the House. While Caldwell and other black legislators did not possess the numbers to control either body of the state legislature, their interests were reflected in the policies developed by the state government. The Mississippi Reconstruction legislators instituted an element of the 1868 Mississippi Convention, including universal male suffrage, elimination of chattel slavery, eradication of codes related to racial servitude and control, and establishment of public education. Vagrancy laws were eliminated and taxes for mechanics and artisans lowered. The right of married women to control their own income, autonomous from their spouses, was implemented. Let me stop right there. Black men's presence in government meant that black men looked out for black women's rights. It's just the opposite of what these black bitch feminists do now. They act as if they're in a separate race from black men. Black men have always advocated for black women. Black feminists advocate for everybody but black people. They don't even help black women. It's a goddamn disgrace, black women. Y'all need to repent for this. We should be for each other, not for particular sex. No other group of women in the country do this. None. And I don't care if I offend you. It must stop. And if it doesn't, when you get brutalized by what is coming, and it will come, you'll find a lot of black men are going to be very reluctant to try to defend you because you've been betraying them. I'm not talking to all black women, but I talked to a type. Like I said, the black men, when they got into government, began advocating, advancing the rights of women. The women's movement in this country was in part started by black men, not white men. And that is ignored and overlooked. And Frederick Douglass had a wife. So what the fuck? He spoke up for women. You know, when a black woman has a white man, nobody beefs. So don't beef when the black man's with the white woman. I'm not pushing white women on black men, but damn.
Doc, that day is already here. That day is already here where brothers are right now, they're seeing who the face of, they're making the black women the face of inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, they're making black women the Jezebels, the sluts, the tramps. It's ridiculous. This needs to stop. Let me keep reading. So the women could own property. These uneducated black men out the cotton fields were pushing for black women so they could be secure, even if a man wasn't there. Right. Not the white men. Not the white men. Okay. In response to the Democratic agenda of the Mississippi Reconstruction government, former Confederates, the white planet class and their allies, worked to undermine and ultimately defeat the Republican government with the Democratic Party as the electoral arm and white supremacy as the mobilizing tool. They used extra-legal violence as a major vehicle to achieve their interests. According to John Lynch, U.S. Congressman and first Black Mississippi State Speaker of the House, nearly all the Democratic clubs in the state were converted into armed military companies. Funds with which to purchase arms were believed to have contributed to the National Democratic Organization, were contributed by the Democratic National Convention, therefore armed whites to murder black people. For all you stupid-ass Democrat or dire coons out there. Lynch also stated the paramilitary forces, primarily former Confederate military, were tried and experienced soldiers and fully armed and equipped for the work before them. The development of the use of white terrorist organizations to neutralize and defeat Republican and black politicians by any means necessary was the order of the day. For bourbon white elite and their allies, intimidation of black laborers and farmers was necessary to prevent their political involvement and maintain their subjugated location in the economy. The white elite could not maintain its interest and position without the subordination of the black majority. Determined black leaders like Caldwell served as obstacles to the white elite power in Mississippi and throughout the South. During the 1975 elections, white supremacist forces intensified their offensive to undermine and harass the Reconstruction government of Mississippi. They say race riots. Let's just call this as white genocides occurred in Vicksburg, Water Valley, Louisville, Macon, Friars Point, Columbus, Rolling Fork, and Yazoo City. White supremacists initiated racial violence to intimidate black voters and disrupt Republican political campaigns. In Macon, for example, 12 blacks were killed by white vigilantes imported from Alabama. And Vicksburg, as recently as emancipated blacks celebrated their new citizenship at the 4th of July parade, white terrorists killed large numbers of the black population. The blacks were unarmed, probably by their stupid ass preachers. So they just came in and just started killing people. And don't act like this is unusual. In Alexandria, Virginia, at Christmas in 1865, blacks were having a Christmas parade. Whites pulled out their guns and shot dead 14 blacks, wounding others. They just started killing them. Nobody convicted. You won't even hear about this in Alexandria history. Just kill them. Show you we can just kill you. This mindset is real. It exists today. It perpetuates the society. And what's evil most is that there are black folks who think it won't happen to them, but don't care if it happens to you. And they have a house full of guns, but don't think you should have one. We have a problem of black folks thinking, I want it for me, but I don't want it for you. I'm not against racism as long as it doesn't hurt me. You should be against it because it's evil, not because it just impacts you. Let me keep reading. And Yazoo City, white supremacist forces forced the Republican sheriff to leave town and took the lives of several blacks. So they would just go around killing people. You'll never see a complete number of how many blacks were just murdered by whites all over the South. I always mention in one county in Louisiana, whites killed 2,000 black people. They just killed them. No one convicted, nothing done about it. They may have killed hundreds of thousands of black people after the Civil War. You wonder why people are so passive and submissive in the South. And they were unarmed. Let me keep going. Terrorist violence disrupted an election debate on September 4th, 1875 in Clinton. Caldwell, running for re-election in the state Senate, was a participant in the debate, which was witnessed by more than 1,000 blacks, approximately 100 whites. The Democratic candidate spoke first with no incident, but after Caldwell began his speech, heckling and other disruptive behavior by whites escalated into shooting at the predominantly black and Republican audience, resulting in the death of 4 people, 2 whites and 2 blacks, and entry of 9 others, 4 whites and 5 blacks. Blacks fled to Clinton, seeking refuge in Jackson, the Republican stronghold, or in the swamps and woods. Caldwell, along with others who retreated to Jackson, demanded that Governor Ames provide weapons so they could protect themselves. The blacks were unarmed, and the whites just began firing. This happened all over the South. And Memphis, the whites would go and push on blacks, so they push back, and they pull out the 6 shooters and just start shooting everybody black that they could. They did the same thing in Louisiana and New Orleans, just murdered, maybe 60, 70 blacks at a time. In fact, that's why the government had troops in the South, was because whites were just murdering black people all over the South. This is your history. A motherfuck nonviolence and fake ass black people who won't tell you that you need to have something. Hi, Sister Deborah Hall. I hope she has a gun. She's a smart sister. If you want some insurance, this sister, let me keep doing this. And I'm almost done. I'm almost done. This is almost over.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm almost done. I'm gonna finish this, and it's done. Here we go. I'm almost done. Listen to this. And in subsequent days, the terror continued, targeting Republicans, black and white, in Clinton, with dozens of people killed. The reign of terror spread throughout Hinds County without significant response from President Ulysses S. Grant or the Union military to suppress the terrorist onslaught. The Mississippi governor, Adelbert Ames, mobilized citizens loyal to the state Reconstruction government to form 7 companies of state militia, recognizing the levels of genocidal violence being waged on their leadership and their communities. Black people answered for the call for forming a militia for defense from white supremacist onslaughts. Recently emancipated blacks were willing to defend their liberty, lives, and newly acquired political and human rights. Caldwell, who had previously defended himself on the streets of Jackson, was one of those citizens demanding arms to protect the state government as well as the freedom and humanity of his people. Of the five companies consisted exclusively of black men. The first company mobilized Company A of the Second Regiment of the Mississippi Infantry was commanded by Caldwell, who was appointed the rank of captain. While some black militia members possessed military experience as Union soldiers from the Civil War, the black militias were not as well equipped as trained as the former Confederate pro-democratic paramilitary forces. Like, we're not ready right now. These
Mm.
folks have been prepared for 100, 200, 300, 400 years. And some of us are just beginning to say, well, maybe I should have a gun. Like,
That's
maybe I should get the snake from off of my prepuce or wash under my hood. Maybe I should. Come on, let me keep going. Let me keep going. Not prepared. However, they did possess the determination, the will to maintain their newly won freedom. In an interview several decades later, Mississippi State Senator, militia leader George Washington Albright remembered our militia helped to fight off the Klan, which was organized by old slave owners to try and make us slaves again, all but in name. On October 9th, 1875, little more than a month after the attack on the Clinton political debate, and a raid on the home, Caldwell carried out a significant military campaign. The company under Caldwell's command had the responsibility of transporting several wagons of weapons to another militia company composed of black men in the town of Edward Station, southwest of Clinton. Following them from his mission, Caldwell consolidated his forces with two predominantly black companies, leading 300 soldiers, approximately 200 armed, into Jackson. Recognizing Caldwell's determination and the major engagement might encourage federal intervention. So when the Negroes finally had weapons and they could lose some lives, listen to this. Democratic leaders ordered their paramilitary forces not to engage troops under the captain's command. While
mm.
they did not defeat the black militia on the battlefield, the Democrats were able to defeat them in the courts. 1 month prior to Caldwell's march through Hinds County, Democratic lawyers filed motions to prevent the state from allocating resources for the organization of state supported militias. In other words, disarm black people. The state Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Democrats on October 12, 1875, 3 days after Caldwell and his forces initiated their march. Governor Ames demobilized the state militias. The disbanding of the predominantly black militia significantly weakened the defense and resources available to Mississippi's black communities 10 years after the end of chattel slavery. Reconstruction based upon democracy and radical reform was doomed to a failure in the face of white supremacist armed rebellion, insufficient federal intervention, and a decision not to provide arms to the black majority.
Mm.
White supremacy would be the order of the day in Mississippi for nearly a century. Within 10 weeks of the decision to disarm black militias, Caldwell was
Killed.
assassinated.
He was killed.
During the 1870s, black political participation was the primary motivation for white supremacist violence. So as they're telling y'all get out and vote. Y'all get out and vote. That's what they want to kill you for, because y'all go out and vote. So why don't those who say y'all get out and vote say, hey, y'all need some gats in case you have a problem when you try to vote, right?
Mm-hmm,
Black
mm-hmm.
political participation accounted for 83% of the recorded mob violence of the period. We're going into a tough election year, fools. The federal government allowed the Southern adversaries to back into the Union through violence and terror and disfranchisement of black people of African descent. U.S. government, the National Republican Party, proved unreliable allies as valiant men like Caldwell were assassinated, black political officials were deposed, and the black masses were forced into agrarian peonage. Peonage is another word for slavery.
Mm.
So I can stop there and simply say that whatever rights you have, it's based on someone having held a gun somewhere. And it's not about letting a police dog bite you or going to jail. We willing to go to jail. Shit, they've been locking us up for 100 years. And what's your point? I'm going to turn it over to you, brother, but blacks just gotta have guns. Oh, blacks just gotta have guns. Now, if y'all got some musicians, we need to make some music. We need to get some happy munition songs. Like, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Praise the Lord. Come on, y'all. And pass the ammunition so we can all be free. Now, that's the song white people sing. That's a white song. Y'all should like it. Okay, it's got a real meaning. I'm going to turn this over to Brother Juan on behalf of Coon Busters, Backpack, the Angry Black Men's Book Club. We thank you for your participation. Share this. If you know a coon, anyone that you think my presentation would offend, please share my channel with them. Please share. Send my content to someone you hate. My best audience of people that hate me. I love my haters. Just thinking that I pissed off a coon, that makes me want to get up and do 10 more of these. I can run on and see what the end's going to be. The end's going to be that coons lose. Okay, brother, I'm going to land my plane.
First of all, let me first thank you for reading to us. Reading is a lost art these days. And when I spoke to your mom with Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and your mom said, my punishment to my son was this. If my son got out of order, I would tell him, you're not going to the library. Think about this, family. The mother of Randy Short shared with me that his punishment was that he could not go to the library. This is his passion. Reading, understanding, researching. So when you have Randy Short, Dr. Randy Short, I mean, for me, I can listen to him all day because I like to hear the word, whether it's the word or a book. I'm with the read piece. What we just got was, I want to say this thing right, a reminder of what we need to do. What he's done, what he's doing, you can't make this up. He loves his people. He does not care for the coons. He does not
Nobody likes
treat
coons.
as a pass. He is not down for feminism. And he encourages responsible gun ownership. He's not just reading. Okay? And yes, he's rough, but he's unapologetic. And I love it. I love it. We need more Randy Shorts out here, more people who are willing to tell the truth in their way. We need this. So I salute you, brother, because again, you was reading, I'm just listening and putting things together. I'm just seeing that we've been conditioned, programmed not to defend ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Our self-preservation switch has been deactivated.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing, we're literally reintroducing our people and whoever's listening back to being responsible gun owners, gun users.
And honoring our ancestors that were trying to get themselves a damn gun.
Yeah.
We're not fulfilling their dream by being disarmed. That's total bullshit. Total bullshit. I want to just give a tribute to my great, 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 I think my great, great, great grandfather, born in 1792. My beloved Thomas Lancaster, a Moor. I think my mother's family Moors because, man, looking at them, you couldn't tell they're black, but all this stuff just so came from England, Moors. And some of his brothers and sisters owned slaves, unfortunately. But when my great, great, great grandfather enlisted in the Union Army in 1862 at the age of 70, At the age of 70, he was so tired of how black people were treated. He went into the army at the age of 70 and took
70 or 17?
70,
Okay.
1792,
Right.
1862.
Wow.
He's 70
Wow.
and fought the whole time
Mm.
and lived into the 1880s.
Wow.
And all of his children fought in the Civil War. They were in the Navy, or they were in, sometimes they fought in the covered troops. If they could pass, you got more money when you were white, or you
Right.
lied about being white. That you got paid about $6 or $7 more a
Mm.
month. That's real money back then. Shit. People who could pass this shit, fuck, I'm in the white army. I love y'all, but I need my money, right?
Your MF money.
Oh yeah, they in fact, we really should fight for reparations for the maybe 300,000 blacks that served in the Navy and in the Army that were paid $6 or $7 less a month than white soldiers. That's in the billions of dollars in today's money, folks.
Mm.
Uh, we should be fighting for the black men, the million blacks that served in World War II. We had deserved reparations for the GI Bill money that we never got. By the way, I want you to share my greeting, MFM, to your audience, Brother Juan. MFN
Yeah.
stands for
My
Mother
screen
Truth
right
and
now, I got the Angry Black Man's Book Club. I got Dr. Randy Short on the screen. I got wrandyshort@gmail.com. I got MFM. And I need you guys to tune into the Angry Black Man's Book Club. Also, I'm gonna put my man Chef C's from the Soil TV or from the Soil. I know he's watching also. I want to put him up also. Also, Let's Talk Too. Let's
yes.
Talk Too is another brother, Brother Q. He's down with the sound too. Also, Sister Sean. Now, what is Sister Sean? What is
Sankofa Radio.
that's right. 95.1 Sankofa Radio. Sankofa Radio. And also my financial advisor, JB Bryant from Afro Economics. So
And,
again,
and,
there's a
and
lot of people out here that's doing things. Again, I wanted to have Dr. Short on unfiltered, uninterrupted, just him being Dr. Short, because again, you don't have a lot of Dr. Shorts out here who's a learned, degreed. He's not just talking to hear himself. He's learned, degreed, but he has passion for his people. And he calls out inappropriate behavior. And we need to start calling out inappropriate behavior and people who do not have no respect for Black Americans.
and we must punish coons. The
It's
beginning of freedom is ending black treason and betrayal. That includes men that mess over our good women out here. We have some very righteous black women, and this is it's unacceptable. We need to bring patriarchy back, but virtuous patriarchy.
yes.
Um, you know, you could be an ass, a bitch, whether you have a dick or not. We need to start respecting and treating each other well. When we dog each other, we encourage other people to hate us. No one bothers people that like one another. Okay. I'm going to let you go here. I need to get ready for Chef C. And
Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Go
so
ahead.
I'm going to just say to you again, support this channel, support the Angry Black Men's Book Club. I do people's channels, provided, they treat me good.
Let,
Not everybody. And so
uh,
just people know how
let,
to reach me.
let them know you also do ancestry. You research people's
Yeah.
ancestry, right?
I do. I'm behind. I owe two people stuff for months. I need to get back on that. I'm going to probably, once I finish these two projects that have they've been so patient, Brother Al Hawk and Brother Bradford. I owe them some things. Once I'm done with theirs, I have a tree I just need to finish. I'll be perhaps in the new year doing genealogical research,
Right.
for people, and also, we do whatever we have to do. I also want people to know that I am president of a group called Backpack, the Black American Political Action Committee. We're looking for people to work with us to fight for Black rights, to fight against Black corruption, to fight against racism. And so you can always email me at wrandyshort. And we have a website, Backpack, BACPAC.info. We'll be doing a lot more in the coming year. Uh, Again, I want to thank all of you that have come back to the Angry Black Men's Book Club. I want to thank Sister uh, Devin and the other brother Allen, folks from Mississippi and from Chicago. And it's so nice to see Corbett Godwin. This man has sent me more money than Warren Buffett. I mean, some folks send you stuff you're not even, some new people need to send me something. This dude need to take a break.
No,
And this wife's gonna come kill me. You nigga, stop taking. So like, I'm not trying to bug anybody, but I have thousands of followers. If all of my followers supported me on Patreon for like 2 or 3 in a month, hot damn. And we got to do something about the sound, Brother Juan.
right.
In fact, I want to do a shout out to Sister Latoya, who's always helped me out. She's just with Salt Ministry for all of you Christians, Bible believing Negroes that are not Luciferians. I want to do a shout out to all you Christians. You know how Muslims always throw this shit around? So, in the blessed name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who was born of a virgin, judged under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, resurrected, and is at the right hand of God the Father. I want to recognize all of you Christians, all of you true Bible believing folks. In particular, my favorite kind of Christians, Black Christian nationalists. Yes, you can be a Christian and be Black and proud and not take any bullshit. I'm a living example, as I am of my distant relative named Nat Turner. We're all from Southside Virginia. All this stuff is true. In fact, you'll be amazed and how interconnected we are. We have to have a conversation on genealogy. And part of what families used to do together was they would go hunting and fishing together, learning how to shoot together, walking together, strapped together, taking no bullshit together. All right. I want to just say bless everybody. And, if your feelings, if you're a little butthurt by what I had to say, well, the scriptures say, faithful are the wounds of a friend. The person that said some shit to you that hurt your feelings in love, that's faithful. We need to stop lying to each other as a people. Stop telling someone morbidly obese that they're pretty or that they're thick. You're not thick, you're a blimp. Stop telling a dude that he's a player when he has babies that he doesn't take care of, that are on the public charge. That's the kind. Oh yes, I don't. And I'm in Salt Ministry. And if you don't like me cussing, you'll really hate me when I'm talking about the Bible. Thus saith the Lord. So you have to choose your poison. If you like me in a secular role, then I'm going to talk like a secular person. But you really won't like it. So if you're not living right, if you're deviant, if you've got a viral load from all the STDs you've contracted because you're living foul, you really won't like me as a believer. So accept the cussing. That's the friendlier side. The biblical side, when I start talking to you about going to hell, and many Black folks are going, the way we've been acting, the filthy, nasty, degenerate, disrespectful behavior, the carjacking, what the hell has happened to us? In fact, let me tell you something. If I was a Ku Klux Klansman, the way the Black people have been acting since Obama was first elected, shoot, I'd probably have moved into being a Nazi. We need to get a sense of ourselves. We're in a hog pen of prodigality and degeneracy that people like P. Shitty have led us into. We need to get a hold of ourselves. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Love everybody. MFM, yes, we need our motherfucking money. Reparations is ours. The scripture says, muzzle not the ox that tramples out the grain. We've trampled the shit out for 500 years, and damn it, we need to get paid. I'm signing off. Love everybody. Love someone. Help someone. Do what you can. Farm. Learn how to shoot. read to somebody, mentor somebody, and not in deviancy. Do something that you can do for somebody other than yourself. I'm Dr. Randy Short, signing off from the Angry Black Men's Book Club. Again, Cash App, DRRENDY, with a dollar sign in front of it. Patreon, Dr. DRRENDYSHORT, Dr. Randy Short. It's the same for Cash App and Patreon. If you are security conscious, Zelle, my email, wrandyshort@gmail.com, is my PayPal and Zelle, and I do respond to people who send me emails. If you send me a message and you want me to respond because you use Cash App, send an email so I can know who you are and I can write you. A lot of times you want to thank people and you don't have a way to communicate with them. They think that I'm an ungrateful user. No, I'm not a nigger preacher. I'm a black preacher. Okay, there's a difference. I gotta go. Love and peace. We will be back. You know, I haven't finished with Shirley Chisler. I'm feeling like I have to go in on her. You know, we got to deal with that feminist T-Rex looking broad with a wig. I got to do it. God give me strength. Okay, I'm out of here.
Doc,
Bye,
and
man.
I
I'll be
appreciate
back.
you'll
Okay,
be back for sure.
sure.
You'll be back. Thank you, sir. Again, family, Dr. Short's information is on the screen. The Angry Black Man's Book Club. Dr. Randy Short, you see it on the screen. You can write him, wrandyshort@gmail.com. Again, I had him on. Again, I think you need to hear more voices, different voices than what you've been hearing. It's time out for us being lied to. It's really time out for that. And again, we appreciate Dr. Short. We appreciate Dr. Short coming on board and just again, it's been a blessing to us. Again, write him, support this station. Also, you can subscribe, you can like, or you can unlike the video. But whatever you do, share it, subscribe, unlike, support both. Uh, let's talk to another YouTube channel with Brother Quentin from the soil. I'll put his up right now. Chef C, Sister Sean, 95.1, Sankofa Radio, and again, my other partner in crime, Wayne Walker. He has this Fire Me Perfect training firearms. So there's a lot of people out here doing things, family. And again, I just want to, every time I come, just want to make sure I bring some value to your life. Again, if this broadcast offended you in any way, okay. We've got to stop uh, being comfortable with people lying to us. And I know this was kind of long. We're like how many minutes in? We're like maybe 2 hours and 19 minutes in. Please go back and view it again. Again, share the broadcast. Again, if you want firearms training, go to lwftraining.com. Repeat, go to lwftraining.com. I think Dr. Short said that he was going to go to From the Soil TV and do another broadcast for Chef C. I'll probably check this out when I leave this broadcast so I can see it. Sister Sean again on Sankofa Radio 95.1 on Saturdays at 3 o'clock from 3 to 4. But please, there are other voices out here, people who are really concerned about us or just the country, you know, and they're putting they're putting their lives on the line to tell you the truth, and they're willing to be alienated too. But at the end of the day, they're genuine, they're concerned, and they have your best wishes. Okay, so I'll be bringing some voices on these airways that are different, that have a whole different perspective, because we need to stop accepting these lies. There's some people that are disgruntled out here because they see the lies, the big lies, and everybody's not on the same page. And we're speaking up. So with that said, My time is done. I thank you all. I see some folks. I see Brian. If you're still on, I know it's 2 hours in. I can't see everybody, but I do see Michelle Terry. I see you, Nia Wilkins, Wayne Green, Sister Kathy. If you're still here, Dewan, Mr. Retired, my brother, Terrence Edwards, Brian Daniels, who's right here. Kay Allen, Devin Haley. I'm just trying to call the names that I do see. I can't see everybody. Tia Robinson. Again, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. You can be somewhere else, but you're here. I appreciate you. Again, I used to come on 5 days out the week. I've cut it back to maybe 3 days out the week. So the next time I'll probably be on, maybe it will be Wednesday or Thursday. Um, Subscribe to the station, along with Firearms Training. Um, I want to thank all the subscribers, everybody who subscribed. I want to thank you. I do appreciate it. Hoping again that I'm bringing value, that I make cause you to think. And trust me, I do want you to become responsible gun owners and gun users, whether I teach you or you go somewhere else. But I need you to take being responsible gun owners very serious. It's just that serious. I, like others, we are the early warning devices before it pops off. I want to make sure you have your training in and you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So, with that said, always remember this, family. It is not how much you know, it is how much you care. Okay. Always remember this, that the essence, or better yet, that the proof of love is the willingness to protect. If a person's not willing to protect you, they don't love you. And that goes for these preachers, these civil rights leaders, these business leaders. They're not warning the people. Okay. And always remember this, there is a lone wolf in your family. A lone wolf don't need the pack. He doesn't need the, he doesn't have to be with the pack. He can survive without the pack. I'm a lone wolf. If you're listening to this broadcast, you're a lone wolf. Okay. So stop waiting for somebody to do something that you can do yourself. Okay. Again, I believe in you. I want you healthy. I want you happy. I want you to find love. I want you to find success. I want you to be prosperous. I want you to be wealthy. And I also want you to have unlimited money for your assignment. Okay. For your assignment. We all have something to do. And as Jesus told Judas, whatsoever you have to do it quickly. Don't wait. Do it. No more excuses. With that said, I'll be signing off. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again this week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, if I don't come on sooner. Again, share the video, like, support the channel, support Dr. Short again. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you very soon.